Is this working? Oh, hello. Yeah, I'm from India. What's up? Steamworks, I don't really have any experience with that. I have not. Uh, Sorry, just setting things up. YouTube says I'm not streaming, but somehow I'm live already. Okay, I guess it's working. Let's get started, I guess. This is very weird. This is my first time doing anything like this. But let's get started. So we're basically doing this challenge where there's 20 games and they're all simple games to start out with. Stuff like Flappy Bird, Pong, Breakout, and then keep getting more complicated. The idea is that you start out really small, try to recreate games that already exist, and it's a way to, I guess, practice. So let's start with Flappy Bird. Thanks. Yeah, I haven't been very active in actually making my own games because YouTube just takes up so much time. So I guess this is a thing I'm trying to hopefully get back into actually working on my own projects. It's been more than 6 months since I worked on anything of my own. So I'll probably take a small break from videos for now and start to actually use Godot again a bit more so that I have some more experience. Godot 4.4 is out, so can't wait to try out all the new features. Alright, so let's create a main scene. No problem. So we're starting out with Flappy Bird. Let's read the requirements first. So it's as simple as it gets. Basically just make the bird flap. And we want obstacles to be spawned. They keep going to the left and then we reuse them. And detect when we lose the game or just keeps going. All right. Control Shift N. Oh, that's wrong. Let's just create a new scene for the player first. Turn it into a. Let's do character body. We want a collision shape with a shape 2D. This is the default layout. Let me switch up to I'm comfortable with. I just got 4.4, so all my settings are reset. All right. Here. Let's also set up our input map. Very simple, just one action. You can do space and left mouse button. And here comes our first script. I do not want all of this, or do I? This hasn't opened it properly. There we go. No, there we don't go. Still wrong. There we go. Never mind. Why? Great. Oh, there. It's all set now. Okay. Let's just start fresh, I guess. Get rid of that. Gonna jump velocity. Let's override input, and if the event dot is action pressed flap, I think I called it flap with a capital F. Thanks. Just working on Flappy Bird to begin with, starting simple. This is the first game in the 20 games challenge. So I've had the option between Pong or Flappy Bird. Flappy Bird is what we're working on. Let's just test that out. I haven't made the main scene yet. Main. Control Shift A. The new quick open menu looks so good. I like this so much more than the crappy little tiny window we had. We want the player. Okay, we're flapping. Nice. Let's start with applying some gravity every frame. I think there's get gravity in the character body class. Gravity. Get gravity is a part of physics body, okay. That's presumably just a constant. So let's apply that over onto our player every frame. Oh, is that all? I don't know what this returns actually. I've never used it, so let's have a look. Wow, beautiful. Let's see what it returns. Yeah, the link is in the description of this stream, or should be in the description of the stream. It's not hyperlinked for some reason, but I guess you could copy paste it. But I'll send it in chat as well. Still not hyperlinked. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so we needed move and slide. The gravity is working perfectly. Move and slide. There, he's gone. Okay. That what did it print? 980. That's a lot. Let's actually make this an export variable. I want another one called gravity. And let's just set that to something like 0.1 maybe. Still too fast. Oh, because I haven't multiplied it yet, of course. Still too fast. There we go. That looks better. Maybe you can go even lower. Touch. So I made it an export. Why am I? I don't see it here. Why do I not? I see them here. Oh, okay. It shows up now. Alright. And when we press flap, let's set the velocity to 0. And then we just want the y velocity set to, or let's directly try setting it to the jump velocity. But I think might have to flip the negative sign. Let's see. I think so. There we go. What's bad? Let's do 600. Nice. Let's start with setting up the game over state. So let's just create an area 2D with a collision shape, a angle shape. Let's actually use a world boundary. I've never used this, but sounds like what we would want to use instead. That. Okay. Main scene. Let's just make a main script. what do we want to do? We want to connect to the area's body entered signal and kill the player. I guess we could do that in the main scene directly. So let's grab references to each of those first. Floor area. I used to have a custom plug. Because I didn't import it. Give me a second. I hate having to bring in references to nodes manually, so I made this little plugin. I'll have to get it from another project. I don't think I have it saved anywhere. Add-ons. I can just drag it onto the add-ons folder now. Nice. And now that should hopefully work. If I select these nodes and do Alt-C, it does not work because I did not turn it on. Plugins, turn it on. Take 3, Alt-C. There you go, kind of worked. Okay. So I want to connect to the floor areas body entered. And let's create the handler method. If the body is the player, then we want to kill the player. Game over. Nice. This world boundary is really convenient. I should start using it more. Let's also create some simple UI to display when the game is over. Game over UI. And this can just be a simple panel container with a margin container, say 10 margins, and then a label. Game over, and let's do VBox container. Put the label into that, and then in the VBox container, we want a Hbox container for 2 buttons. Button with a quit, and let's actually the font size can be a little bit bigger, and the theme style. Start with normal, style box flat, do something like that. I don't have a Discord, no. Might make one at some point, but I don't know. Haven't made one just yet. Want more margins on the left and right. To 20 and 20. And these can be shorter vertically. Oops. Stop. There. Actually too big. Reduce the font size. Try 45. Sure. Let's also customize the panel container. A slightly darker version. Hello. I am on Flappy Bird. We just got jumping. Huge, I know. But we're now on to making a simple menu to or game over menu. Let's try blue. I'll also change the button color. Probably shouldn't be spending most of the time on visuals at the moment. Right, that looks horrible, but we'll move on. Quit button. We'll have another restart button. And I can put a control between those. And that can just be set to expand. Okay, we've got something going. Let's increase the margin. That is way too much. 30. Also way too much. We really need a way to set all these values at once. Hate having to go tab, 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 tab. Panel container. Give it a border 5 or like 7 maybe. Corner radius, what does 10 look like? Small. 30. 30 looks fine. 25 maybe. Sure. Okay. And the panel container. Yeah, at least I don't spend half my life scrubbing anymore. I hate that from the bottom of my heart. Like, it's animation in Godot is just so. The animation player has like such good potential to be like a really useful tool, but working with it makes me want to pull my hair out. Whatever is good enough. Restart button. Restart. Looks all right. Panel container. Let's make it. Never mind. I guess we're not scaling it. That looks good enough. Let's set up these buttons. So I'll get references to the quit button and the restart button in my ready function. I won't need process ready. Let me just alt C that. And, I need to fix this. I don't know why it's pasting it without indentation. Right. And then let's do quit button dot rest. And do I need a function for this? Probably not. Let's just make a lambda. And yeah, that should work, I think. Well, I'm not displaying this anywhere. I haven't even saved it. Let's do game over UI. Does anyone know if there's a way to have this be Pascal case directly? And because I always have to keep manually changing that. It's annoying. Let's also create a folder for UI. Or let's just do game over UI. Game over UI, and I'll move the script in there as well. Reload the game over UI. The I is not capitalized. Do I change this or the file name first? I always forget. Does it matter? Let's change the file name. U capital I. And I. There we go. Hopefully that hasn't duplicated my script. It hasn't. I think. Okay, we're good. Let's put this in our main scene. Control Shift A. Game over UI. Let's put it into a canvas layer. It can be all the way at the bottom. Okay, let's see if that works. Quit. Nice. Restart. Also nice. I'm clicking, so it's jumping first and then restarting. Yeah. Nice. So let's just turn this on whenever the there hits the bottom area. Get a reference to the game over UI over here. And I want it to be capitalized. Why is my rename not working? Let me try restarting VS Code. And now it doesn't even recognize it. The project. Oh, there we go. Okay. This needs a second. What was I doing? Renaming the. Oh, I did rename it. Okay. VS Code is acting up today. Wait, it didn't. Am I blind? Oh, this was what I was trying to rename. Never mind. I was looking at the name of the type. There we go. Let's just hide the UI by default. And then turn it on. When we kill the player, or do we have to kill the player? I guess not, right? Yeah, don't have to. We can just grab the game over UI dot visible to true. There we go. Perfect. So we have our bird, good old bird jumping. What's next? The pipes. Obstacles. Yes. So start with a new scene with, it can just be an area 2D. And call it obstacle. So we need two obstacles making up, like the top and the bottom pipe are together one obstacle. So let's keep that in mind. Let's have an area. We already have an area. We need a collision shape. Those. Let's first create these sprites for the pipes. Sprite can be Goodo again. Let's turn you green. Visibility. There we go. Isn't that the best pipe you've ever seen? Incredible. And did I child this under here? going to be useful at all. I'm going to be moving this often. Leave it as is. Let's group it under a node 2D. Top. That doesn't work, of course. Maybe the obstacle shouldn't be a area 2D. Let's change that back to node 2D. Maybe this can be an area 2D. It might make it just annoying to interact with, but let's try it out. Top and bottom. Static body 2D might be better. I mean, it's not going to really physically interact with the pipe. I just need to detect when it touches it. So I think area 2D should be fine, but let's see if I run into any issues and try switching to that. So it's something like that. Does Flappy Bird have the same constant gap between all pipes or all obstacles, or does the actual gap between the pipes also change randomly? Because ideally we'd just want to do that to swap out where the obstacles are. But I don't know whether the gap changes between each obstacle. Like, are some wider? I don't think so. Let's make sure the origin is aligned with our gap center. Accidentally transform this. Let me fix that and then make that go here. Let's use the same value. Let's say -150 and then +1. Because these have their own offset. Perfect. Let me reset these offsets first. Just move the top node. I want the top node to be higher, like 180. Hi Vishal, thanks for stopping by. First time doing this, so pretty bare bones stream, but figure it out as we go. I have to reset these as well, I think. Position reset, bottom can go for what? -220 to +220. All right. So these need to be taller. Changing them is going to be an annoying pain. Now. Maybe these should actually go because of the offset. That's annoying. Because if I want to make the gap wider, I have to move. Oh wait, I just moved. No, if I wanted to make these taller, because I don't think they're tall enough. Because if the gap was here, then there'd be empty space here. So if I want to make this wider, I have to grab this, make it wider, grab this, make it wider, grab, yeah, like that, and then that again. That's not good. Let's actually just do this dynamically. Let's not do top and bottom. Let's just do a simple obstacle. To Control T, change the type to area 2D. They're not that valuable. Get rid of the top node and move these there. Like that. So if I can move, so these positions are the same. Transform. I need to favorite these. Yes, that's something you can do now. Favorite position, rotation, scale. Oh, that's so nice. Forgot there was a thing. Okay, position is the same between those. So I basically would just want to if I zero that out, that should go to the center, right? Yes. Doesn't the sprite 2D have offset? Yes, it does. So if I, but then that would mess up the collision shape position. Let's just do that. That's good enough. I'll set them. I'll set each of their positions individually. So now if I make this a lot wider, uh, will that tall enough? Like if it was here, yeah, I think that should be tall enough. Yeah, 3D. I haven't done too much 3D work with Godot myself. I used to use Unity as well. 3 years ago, for 3 years, not 3 years ago, 1.5 year ago, but for 3 or 4 years before that, and then later switched into Godot. Unity just feels really slow. Like I make a change in code, and then the domain reloading just has like 1700-second delays. You make a one line, you print something out, and then you go back. It takes a whole minute just to play. It doesn't take a minute. I'm exaggerating, but feels like a minute for such a small change. Started to get really annoying. Right, let's also make this wider. Okay, this is annoying. I cannot have the bounding box tool when I have multiple nodes selected. That is pretty annoying. But I guess I can still do, yeah, I can do that. Just scale to what? Huh? Why? Oh, okay, it works now. Good. I will not complain as long as you work. Please continue to work. Let's put this into the main scene. I haven't saved this yet. Obstacle. Put this into the main scene now. Control Shift A, obstacle. And that looks too thin. Can be a bit bigger. Like these two again, please behave. It behaves. Nice. Layer is too big though, I think. Layer. This is one thing I miss from Unity, where if I have an instance, if I have a prefab instance, I just want to modify it and then apply that back to the original source. You can't do that in Godot, or I don't think you can do that in Godot. I would love to be wrong. But now you have to go into the scene and then change it. And then go back, check whether that's too small now, go back to the player, make it bigger. That looks fine. The obstacle or the UI can be hidden by default. So the idea is I would have two obstacles that are basically just, I guess I can just rotate that like that. Like just on to win and rotate. I just have one sprite. Sense. I do want to be able to control the gap and position easily. So what I'll do is create another scene. Alright. Yeah, I'll create another scene. Maybe the obstacle can just have no offset. And then I'll have another scene called obstacle there. Where I just have, oh, I haven't saved this. Save that. Or actually, make this go here. I'll line it up with the bottom. Lovely. It doesn't line up. This is a 1 pixel offset. That's fine. Line that up there, and then I can basically, I did save. Why are you offset? Oh, I moved this on accident. I meant to move the. Hey, no offset anymore. and then save that. Yes, there we go. So now I can offset this by a like an accurate pixel gap value. So let's create a script on the obstacle pair and have some export variables for the gap and then position, I guess. Position offset. Y position offset can be 0 by default. And the gap size can be, let's see, the obstacle was that high. If that was the gap, like that much, that would be around 90. So to top obstacle, bottom obstacle, Control D, reset, rotate it by 180 degrees. Then the position would be basically the same amount, but the other way. So this was 90 offset, so 90 positive or something like that. So I'll basically have this in the gap size. So 90 sounds good as a baseline value. Are you not going to open a Discord? Maybe, I don't know. If there's enough demand for it. A couple of people have asked so far, but I don't know. Haven't decided yet. I don't know if I'm big enough yet to warrant a Discord. Top obstacle, bottom obstacle. Grab references to these. Let's see. And why is it doing that? I'll have to fix that off stream. I don't think it did that before. It has been 6 months since I last. Or maybe that's why. Because I think I made this add-on in Godot 4.2. It's been a while since I last used it. Something must have changed since then. So I have both the obstacles. I basically just want to set the top obstacles local position to gap size or vector2 dot up multiplied by the gap size, which is 90 by default. And same thing with the bottom obstacle. Bottom obstacle, but vector2 dot down instead. No, that will be double the gap size actually. So if I try that, yeah. If I let me reset these positions by default. Where is position? Do I have to favorite them for? Didn't the favorites show? Oh, they show up now. Oh, they don't show up if you select multiple ones. Nice. Convenient. They're the same exact properties. Why don't they show up if they're multiple? Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. So if I do that, oh, I haven't even saved this. Obstacle pair can be in the obstacle folder. No, if did I even put this in here? No, I did not. Delete that. Control Shift A. Ob pair. Yeah, I should report that. Let me write it down somewhere so I don't forget. Report favorites not showing up when multiple nodes are selected. Cool. I will report that later. One day. Okay, so obstacle pair. I want. Why do I not see my properties I haven't built? Oh, I do see them. Okay. This favorites section is a bit. It's interesting. It's nice, but I guess you have to get adjusted to it because I'm expecting my variables to be up here, but they're not up there. I guess these were always present. I just didn't see them. Anyways, gap size is 90. If I were to put this here, I should see a much larger gap than 90. I should see double the gap. Is that double the gap? I don't know. See. The remote tree, let me look at the obstacle positions. Yeah, so they're each 90 pixels away from the center, which is not what I want. So let me just say gap size by 2. So that the actual gap between those two obstacles is 90 instead, or whatever the exported value is. There. Okay, that works. But actually, turns out 90 was too small, so I did want 180 and 90 to be the individual gap. The offset, okay. Maybe even 100 or 200. Is that too big of a gap? Or I mean, is that too small of a gap? Maybe, yeah. Might also have to adjust my jump height, but let's try 200. Whoa, that is not 200. That is 200. That looks the exact same to me, but let's move on. All right. And the offset shall be a random value between. So how far do I want my offset to be? If these were, I can't visualize them easily. I'll have to go in here. Position minus or up is negative, yeah, minus 90 or minus 100. Bottom is 100. Let me just give a note in here saying the offset here is a rough offset. It's being set through code on ready. Don't know, let's see how we go. The goal would be to work on all 20 games, but it's going to be a long ride. It's going to take a couple of, or more than a couple of months. But let's see. Hello, digital. Any 3D games? Maybe. I've only worked on one 3D game so far in my overall experience with Godot. Let me see if I can pull that up. But yeah, maybe some 3D games later as we go through the list, if I go through the list. I hope I can get past like number 5 at least. That would be nice. I really struggle with finishing projects. Godot projects. Why am I looking here? I have to open Godot. I need to. Is it 4.3? PVZ 3D. I was trying to recreate Plants vs. Zombies, my childhood favorite. Hi Vivek. So this is the 20 games challenge where you basically have a list. So there's a link in the description, and the goal is basically to get through the whole list. So there's options for each. So number 1, you have Pong and Flappy Bird. You can pick one and try to finish, quote unquote, finish that whole game, and then you move on. It's up to you how you define finished. Maybe you just want to do the coding for it. Maybe you also want to do the art. But I guess the goal as you keep moving forward is to make it like a fully kind of finished game with sounds, art, and menus and all that. But it's basically a way to challenge yourself and get practice with finishing projects. So that's something I struggle with a lot. I've never finished a project. I've started a lot of projects, but never actually finished projects. So I'm hoping to work on that with this challenge and hopefully get better at finishing projects. Yeah, like getting out of scope is something I struggle with a lot. So yeah, this challenge is like, I guess, really helpful to fight that as well, or like get better at that, because you're recreating already existing games, and you're like you basically have what you want to do in front of you. You're not thinking about what to do. You just have to figure out how to do it. So in that way, I guess it kind of helps to scope the project down and actually finish them. I don't have a quote unquote full time game dev job, but I do tutoring on Fiverr. So it's a source of income from game dev. But going back, where were we? Oh, I was showing the 3D project. Yes, so this was my only 3D project. I think I worked on this 4 or 6 months ago. Let me see actually. When was my... Oh, I should also commit my changes. I haven't done that yet. Got menu, game over, flapping, obstacles. Let's see, PVZ 3D. When was the last time I worked? 7 months ago was the last time I worked on this. And awesome, I'm glad it was helpful. Yeah, UI has been pretty confusing to me too when I got started, but then there's just a few things with containers that just have to click, and once you get the hang of that, I think it becomes a lot simpler. So I have this project where it's basically Plants vs. Zombies, the 2D game, which is like, I'll show the game first. It's the original PopCap Plants vs Zombies, where it's kind of like a tower defense type thing. You have plants, you have zombies. These red things are supposed to be zombies, and they basically come at you on a grid, and you collect sun. So I basically tried to turn the 2D game, which looks like this. So it's a 2D game. That's just a top-down view of plants. You just place plants. You collect sun by clicking on them. You place plants. The zombies attacking on each lane. And you basically play like a tower defense game. And this was my attempt at trying to turn that into a 3D game where you're actually physically running around. So you're like way smaller than the zombies and plants. So you look up at the zombies and plants. And this was the only plant that I actually got to implementing in the game. Or all of the plants work. Mine, I have like dummy visuals for each of them, and the cherry bomb explodes, kills zombies nearby. There, so kills zombies, and then I have this thing which slows down, or I don't think I implemented the slowdown logic yet, but it shoots. But this was the only plant that I actually modeled and animated somewhat. The shooting hasn't been animated, but it kind of works. But yeah, I haven't visited this project in ages. Yeah, I should continue at some point, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can go back to it with the 20 games challenge, because in the challenge, after you get to 10, there's actually only 10 main games in the list, and then after 10 you just pick whatever game you want. I mean, there's a bigger list, there's a full list where you have a bunch more games. Is Plants vs Zombies in this? It is not. But I mean, you make your own rules, right? You don't have to stick to this list exactly. Just the point is to recreate something that exists. So I guess I can just use that game as one of them in the main list if I get past number 10. But yeah, I do want to go back to it. So it was pretty fun to work on this. Like, especially, yeah, like creating assets. Yeah, I also don't have too much experience with that. So hopefully with this challenge, I can get more practice with doing that as well. Like, this was really fun to like make and animate. It was a lot of work, but it was pretty fun. And like, imagine the whole game was like fully animated like this. I think it would look really cool. But yeah, anyways, going back to Flappy Bird. So, see, where were we? We have the obstacle pair, and I wanted to check how much the offset needed to be. So I want the offset in the y-axis to be from like maybe there, which is, let's say, 190. So 190 y position offset, we want it to be between 190, or wait, was that negative 190? No, positive 192. $490. I'm just looking at this value here to see where, or wait, should it be the, do I want it to be exactly the same on the top and the bottom? No, I don't care. 470 bucks. 470. So I want it to be, was it GD that had rand? Yes, rand range. I want it to be from 190 to 470. I don't think I can upload that to Play Store. I'll get copyright struck the second it goes up. It is there. It is EA's intellectual property, to be fair. And it is EA, so they're gonna strike that down the second they see it up. But maybe I can put it up on like itch for free, because I think as long as I'm not making money out of it, they should be fine with it, I think. Alright, so let's just... Okay, wait, that should be it already, actually. Let's make a couple of them. Control D, Control D. I really miss Blender's Shift D for something like this. Because Control D and then moving the object is a bit annoying when you have to do it a bunch of times. So just Shift D and then you're already moving it is just so nice. Anyways, let's see if each of these have a random Y offset. I don't think they do. Restart? Nope. Why not? Did I save? I did save. Oh, because I'm not using it. Of course. Let's set the global position of the obstacle pair to let's not modify the X and use the Y offset. Oh, I had another one on accident. Restart. I mean, it's doing it. Oh, I guess it's working. It didn't look like it was working because they were too close multiple times. But just RNG, I guess. I would want them to be further apart. But I think that's working. I might even be able to get away with a slightly higher threshold, so maybe something like 180 and 480. Further apart on both axes. Made 3 maps and deleted all of them. Yeah, sounds about right. Seems like you're doing game dev correctly then. Okay, that's decent. Now let us let's move them to the left. So let's have another export variable. Oh, export. I want it to be a float called x move speed, and that can be something like 100 or 50 maybe. And we would want to make the process function and add to the global position left multiplied by speed multiplied by delta. And wow, it has the deletion handled for me as well. Thank you, Copilot. Negative 100. Is that what I want? This is 0. Yeah, sounds correct. Let's have a look. It is too slow. Obstacle pair. The X move speed to be 150, maybe. That's not bad. My bird needs to be smaller, I think, though, or the gap needs to be wider. Let's try a wider gap. Oh, now when I change the gap, I need to change the top and bottom offset. Lovely. I'll deal with that, I guess. 220, maybe. Or maybe the jump height is too high. Where? Jump height. No jump height. Oh, because I'm not select. Jump velocity. 300. That seems better. Not bad, not bad. What's next? So we have the obstacles moving, and I can modify the gap. I can modify the position. And now the only thing that's left, or only the next thing is moving, or no, spawning them. Imagine I just had a bunch of these. Game, ladies and gentlemen. $3D games for indie devs are a waste of time. Depends. I mean, if you already come from a 3D background, if you're familiar with 3D, or I mean, even if you're not, right? If you're able to, obviously going for like a hyper realistic style might not be the best idea as an indie. But I think if you can scope it down to, like, if you look at Kenny assets, right? Let's look up Kenny 3D assets. You look at those, they're pretty simple. Like, I haven't ever made like a full set of 3D assets myself, but if I look at this, like, I know enough to be able to do this, and there's obviously people way more skilled than I am. So if you're able to like do this in a couple of, or like, I think you could do this in a day if you were skilled enough, even as an indie. So if you're able to consistently do this, of course there's like way more. So there's texturing, there's animation, and way more you need to consider, not just modeling. But like, if you're able to make low poly assets like these quick enough, I think 3D is not too difficult, maybe. But not too difficult. It's still a challenge, but I don't think it's as bad as you might think. I mean, depends. That was just an example. It's just one example, but there's a lot of low poly games that, well, low poly doesn't necessarily have to be like just that low poly. Like it doesn't have you don't have to physically see the triangles and the quads. It's just that you try to optimize and have as few polys as possible to make it easier for yourself as well, and also as like an art style, which is, I think low poly art style has its place. It just depends whether you can produce them quick enough, or yeah, I don't know. But yeah, 2D games have their own quirks as well. Like 2D animation is no joke either, where it depends on what style you're going with. So if you're going for like a handcrafted, hand drawn art style, then animating hand by hand is like really difficult and time taking, maybe even more than 3D sometimes, if you're going for something like Cuphead. But yeah, depends. There's shortcuts you can take in either 2D or 3D. And yeah, 3D is fun. Yeah, like animating that pea shooter was so fun. I do want to get into more 3D as well at some point, but I don't know. At the moment, I'm focusing on 2D because that's what I'm most comfortable with. But if I can use 3D just as an excuse to use Blender more, then I absolutely will, because I love Blender. Like, I'll go with a 3D project just for the sake of being able to use Blender. And that would be a valid reason for me. Looks like I accidentally duplicated all my world boundaries, which is not good. Get rid of those and make sure I have only one floor area, which is looking good. Okay. So spawning them. Let's create an area 2D. No, it's the normal node 2D. Call it obstacle spawner. And the obstacles can go obstacle spawner under obstacle. Flappy Bird in 3D. Huh. Haven't had that thought before. I'm sure it's been done, right? Surely. 100% many people must have tried that. Yeah, I think there's a fair bit of. Whoa. Okay, I wasn't expecting that perspective. That's actually cool. When I thought of Flappy Bird in 3D, I was thinking of the exact same perspective as this. But yeah, I guess this makes sense actually. I like this a lot. Pretty cool. Obstacle spawner. I want you to be your own scene. So let me get rid of these guys. Be your own scene in obstacle. And you would want a timer. There. What did I do? Not what I do. That is what I want to do. There, timer, and then timer, timeout, connect to that, timeout, and want to set the timer to 1 second is fine for now. Auto start. And we basically want to spawn an obstacle pair whenever the timer times out. I have not published any games so far. So yeah, I've never finished a full game project, which is something I should work on. I'm very bad at finishing projects, just like many others. That's also the reason I'm doing this challenge, so that I can actually work towards finishing some projects, whether they're my own or recreations. That's always a good start to just make a habit of finishing projects, however small they are. So when we time out, we want to grab the obstacle pair scene and instantiate that as a obstacle pair, and then I can modify the vertical offset. No, wait. Oh, I have that covered already. So it already randomly has a vertical offset and also moves to the left. So all I have to do is spawn them. So let's create a marker 2D. And just move that over. Somewhere there. And then let's get a reference to it. 2D. Oh. Marker 2D. Marker for inst.glow position is marker 2D's global position. And we also want to add the instance as a child. So that should already do it, I think. I have not assigned the obstacle. Wait, where's the quick load button? Wasn't there a new quick load button? Is that only for textures? Texture 2D test. That's so convenient to have, and it's not here. What? Why is the quick load button not here? I am in 4.4. 4.4 added a quick load button here that you can just click to directly open up this window. But it's not here anymore. It was here in the beta version. Yeah, I have seen PVKK. Crazy game. I think it's by the same developer as Dome Keeper, if I remember correctly. Really cool stuff. I am so disappointed at this. Why is there no quick load button? That has to be a bug, right? Surely. They didn't just add one of the best features ever and then remove it immediately. I guess we will deal with it. I want the obstacle pair scene That like that there. Please work. Interesting. What is this? Um, is this not running? It is running. Why are they all the same? Wait, first, what else am I printing? What is this? Is this gravity? I don't want gravity anymore. Why is it the same value? Same y offset. Obstacle pair. I'm setting the... Is this the same value every time? Why? Oh, did I not save? No, I did save. Why is it the same value? Print out the position of it. Oh, it is different. The offset, the random value is different. It's just not getting set. That's interesting. Why are you not getting set? The X is correct. Let's also print the global position, which is obviously not going to be set correctly. It is set correctly. Then why are they not offset? The global positions are different for each of them. So if I go in here, what? Oh, they are being destroyed. If I click this one, y is 0. Why are you 0? It's being set. Is it being overridden? Global position, we're adding the left vector to it directly. So we're not modifying the y at all here. Then what's modifying this? Oh, this is modifying it. Is this running before that? That must be what the issue is. Yeah. Okay, so it's the ready function of the obstacle pair is running before. It's weird. Should that happen? Shouldn't this run first? Because I'm instantiating it. I guess makes sense. What I'll do is I'll create my own initialize method in that case. And call that myself after I set the position to the marker. So inst.initialize. So that should fix it. Yes, it is working. Nice. Beautiful. Can I bring my bird back by spam click? No, he's gone. Claustrophobic Flappy Bird. Maybe you could have like a really claustrophobic version like this where you, instead of flapping, it's just like holding the button smoothly makes it go up. Imagine making that gap. Alright, so 1 is way too short of a timer, so let's increase that to 2. 2. That looks good. My RNG is really bad or really good because they're all spawning in the same spot. Maybe instead of... Yeah, I might have to make the bird a bit smaller. And also, instead of the obstacles offset being anywhere within this range, maybe I should round that to the closest 10 or something. Is there a round function? There is round f. Nearest whole number. Can I specify the whole number? Yes. Oh wait, no, that's what. Never mind. Snapped is what I'm looking for. Perfect. So now if I snap this value y pos offset equal to y or gd dot snap, no, mathf dot snap, yes, mathf dot snap, we pass in the y offset and let's say 20. Oh, sure, maybe 20 is also too small. Let's try 40. And is this clamped? Is a good to have? Not sure. Let's just have a go and see how it goes. So now the values shouldn't be as gradual. So I don't know if it's just better RNG this time or if that is actually helping, because this looks a lot better than what we had before. And I think they're still spawning too fast, so maybe Maybe increase the time between ones at 2.5. You have exams soon. I don't know, man. what is more important to you? I mean, JE is never important to any student. It's always more important for the parent. But I don't know. Do you feel confident in being able to do well? You should study is the probably the correct answer for me to say, but I don't know. Do what you want. Okay, not bad. So now the I think these are already area 2Ds. Oh, advanced, not even the normal JE. Okay. So did you already get through JE? The first stage? Nice. Well, good job on that. That is also pretty difficult, right? I fortunately never had to give JE, so I was lucky. But I think yeah, I heard like advanced is way harder than mains. Game dev is not a job that pays well, is what I'll say. I mean, I've never had a game dev job, so maybe I'm not the best person to answer that question, but getting into game dev is going to be tricky, so maybe just stick with the job offer that you have already. So you have like something to fall back to, and you can try to do this alongside game dev. But like I know nothing about like actual game dev jobs because I've never even tried to get one. But I'm sure it's pretty damn difficult. You'll already need like a good portfolio. You'll need like to put a couple of years into learning it and being good enough. Maybe, I don't know. Custom cursor. Uh like like the one I have here or in the game when you play. Alright, so this is working. Let's move on to the um what's next? The collisions. The cursor I have is not in Godot actually. It's in my Windows. It's an operating system cursor, so I have this cursor outside of Godot as well. If you want the same one, I let me look for a link. I should have the same one. Hmm. Yes, I found it. This is the one I'm using if you wanted the exact one. It's from Hollow Knight. the game. Very, very awesome game. And yeah, but if you want like a different cursor, I think that you can look on that website and it should have like a bunch of custom cursors and you can upload your own cursor as well. So look into that. The Reddit post should have info on how to set up the cursor. I sent a link in chat. Okay, so we're spawning obstacles. Now we need to connect to each of the what am I doing? Connect to each of the obstacles area and body entered. So let's say in here, or no, not in here, in the obstacle pair. Should I do it here? Sure. I go in here and I have the references to the obstacles already. And I just need to connect to those. So top obstacle dot area entered, area oh wait, no, body entered on body entered. That's the plan. I mean, my goal is to hopefully make indie games for a living, and kind of I'm not too interested in getting like a job in the industry. My interest is more just make my own games and hopefully be successful that way one day, maybe a decade from now. So yeah, maybe like a small indie studio would be cool. So if we hit the obstacle, let's print something for now. And let's do the same with the bottom obstacle. I should also probably set up collision layers for these. Obstacle should have collision. Let's put it on 3. It can be called obstacle. Let's make 2 the player. In this case, I guess I don't even need the obstacle layer, but let's just make it anyways. I can use it later if I want to. But mainly I want the player collision to be on the player layer, and the obstacle should look for the player. And also the floor area should look for the player. Game over works. Now does the pipe work? It does not. Oh, it does work. It's printing it. I'm not killing the player just yet. So let's actually create an auto load for the game over state. and move the game over logic there so that I can access it from multiple places. Let's create a scene. Yeah, a scene. Let's call it globals. It can just be a node. Global scene. The global script. And I want to set that up. Global. Auto load globals, not CS. Yes. So now in here, I have. Oh, should I use events or signals? Signals have been improved in 4.4. They're completely strongly typed now, which is pretty awesome. What am I doing? I need to set up a signal. Normally, I would have set up just the normal C# event, but I'm wondering if I should start using signals now. Let's try signal and void game over event handler. I have no clue what the syntax for signals is in C#. Oh yeah, I haven't set up the auto load singleton yet. I have this singleton setup that I usually just grab from here. Control P singleton. Grab that and sploink. And that will just be called globals. I should set up a VS Code macro for this. It's going to be so much more straightforward. Right. And so I want to set up the signal and oh, okay, wait. So with signals, are they declared as public? Can I? So wait, if I do game over, or I want to emit this signal, game over. Emit signal game over. Okay. But is that public? It doesn't tell me. Nice. So I should try to do it from here. So when the body is entered, I can stop printing that because I know it's working. And access glow, or let me do it in the main scene first actually, where I hit the floor because I know this is working fully already. If I grab this, wait, so what am I trying to do? Never mind, I don't need a signal. I can just have a function do that. Yeah, I don't need a signal. I can just say public void game over. I want to pause the tree, sure. And I probably want to also go to the game over UI script, and then after reloading it, I want to set, or before reloading it, I want to set the pause state to false. And then in here, I can set it to main. And main, instead of doing this, I want to do that here. I don't have a reference. And getting a reference to the game over UI is going to be annoying from here. Unless I make another singleton, which I would prefer not to do. So let's go back to making a signal. So I guess I do want a signal. Signal game over event handler. And then I want this. So private void game over. So I have the ability to call emit signal game over. Can I access this from outside is the question. Can I access this from like here? Global dot instance dot emit. No, I don't. That's annoying. I guess I can create a pass-through method here. Fine. I'll just go public void emit game over, and then I emit game over. No, emit signal game over the generated method. And then from here now I can do emit game over. And then I can catch that signal again from here, where I have global dot instance dot game over. And then I guess there's no reason to like do this roundabout way. I can just call this function directly, but if I'm gonna set up the global bus anyways, might as well use it here as well. So now that should work, and I should also emit the game over signal from the obstacle pair. Yes. Or wait, maybe I should just do it from the obstacle. Yeah, actually that's a lot simpler. Let's get rid of that. Just go into the obstacle. Let's see. Oh, I don't have an obstacle script. Never mind again. I don't want to do it here. Let's do global dot instance dot. Hi Ravi. Welcome. I have not made a game yet. I have not finished a game yet. But we're getting close to finishing this one. We're almost there. We just need, or I guess that should work on its own. keyword is should. It works. Nice. But the buttons don't work. Because I did not set the game over UI to have process mode always. So now if I fall off the screen, I should be able to quit and restart. Let's make sure restart works as well. Big. Null reference. Happens when I restart. It's happening with the signal. It shouldn't. Wait. What's game over UI is null. Why am I accessing the same game over UI? Is it because these are lambdas? Try not using lambdas. Public, private, void, on, quit button pressed, and then fill it in for me. Thank you. Get rid of these. Quit button dot rest. There we go. I hope that fixes it. I'm not too confident. Well, that shouldn't actually directly fix it because I'm still not disposing. Yeah. Is it because I'm not dispose? Override dispose and dispose these. Please work. Nope. Where is this coming from? This is coming from dispose. It's disposed by the time it's trying to get disposed? What? This should run before it's disposed, but it's already disposed by the time it's trying to get disposed. I'm reloading the scene. The second I hit restart, there's an error. Let's try not. If this stack trace is coming from the dispose function. What if I get rid of this? Where is it coming from? If I don't dispose, it comes up when I run game over. Why? This reference is, shouldn't it just be reinitialized? the game over UI instance. That null. It should be though, it's because it's being initialized in here. Like, out of all things, why is it game over UI that's not initialized? I thought the error was going to be about the signal, because usually that error shows up when you're messing with signals, but this has nothing to do with this, I think. So we have it in the first iteration. Then it doesn't. Huh? I'm guessing it does have something to do with the game over signal. What if I dispose this one? So game, or I basically grab this line, change that to minus equal to unsubscribe. I ran the wrong scene. Close. Yes, that was it. Okay. It had something to do with the signal after all. So I think I actually have no idea why that works. My guess would be that. Or wait, no, I guess it does make sense because this event is never being disposed. So the old, even though the new event is still working, like I have the new event being connected, the old one is still active because the the main node itself got disposed and the reference for this one hasn't. So I think that's what's happening. I'm like 70-80% sure. But it's working now. Wow. It is no longer working? Oh, how did this happen? Okay. Start. Let's go. Is this reference the same? It shouldn't be the same. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, makes sense. But I believe that should be working now. Let's also try it with hitting the pipes. Discord, I don't have a Discord. A few people have asked for it. I haven't decided whether I would want to make one yet. Alright. This still feels impossible to play, I think. I'll have to make the bird way smaller. But it looks like this bird is big enough already. Not? Or I meant small enough already. How about that? That's tiny, but hmm. Okay, that works. Feel like it's a bit too small though. Oh, never mind. It's still or near impossible to get through that, I think. I'm just setting the velocity. There's no physics going on. It's just the normal character body. And I'm setting the velocity in the up direction, which I think is too high. So let me go back to the player and let's try 250. That was close. Is there a design issue or am I just bad at Flappy Bird? I think it's just a skill issue. It might not be a design issue. It's just straight up a skill issue. No, it's not a skill issue. Surely a design issue, right? Lower velocity and gravity, yeah. Ooh, gravity is something I haven't thought of tweaking, but you're right. Maybe if I increase the gravity actually to... Wait, does that increase it or decrease it? Multiplying it. So that should increase it. Ah, that actually feels too snappy, but I think it's in the right direction. There we go. Yeah, if gravity is higher, it's like pushing down. Yeah, gravity is negative by default. It's just that I'm multiplying with vector2 dot up, so that already has the value of vector2 dot up is 0 comma minus 1, so that handles that for me. But yeah, I think that's too high. Let's try 0.025. Ooh, I think that's a good, nice middle ground. Yes. Skill issue has still not changed. I was going to say it was fixed, but no. The design issue was fixed, but the skill issue is still here. Yep, no. Just horrible. I'm going to try one last time before I go. Nice. It felt bad for me, so it gave all the obstacles at the same height. Come on. Seriously? Can't zoom in. Can I zoom? No, cannot. Yeah, but look at that. Doesn't even touch it. Vary the size of the gap and the space between the obstacles. Yeah, I was wondering, does Flappy Bird vary the size between the gap between the obstacles? I don't know actually, because I thought it was constant, but fortunately I did account for it, and I made it easily variable. If I go in here, I just have a gap size variable that I can randomize fairly easily. So let's actually do that. A rect collision. Let's see, or maybe just make it smaller. I think that helps a bit. Because anyways, the bird is going to be fairly round. And I can also give the obstacle itself some affordance. So like maybe something like that. Yeah, something like that. Does that solve my skill issue? Doubt. Kind of. We are gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yeah, so let's try modifying the gap size easily. Should be able to do it easily. Where am I? Am I doing randomization here? Fill pair. Where am I setting the random position? Is it not here? Obstacle spawner? In initialize. Hello, Silver. Am I blind? Oh, rand range. Yes, I am blind. It was right here. Should probably. Right, so this was the vertical offset. Right, no, this was the vertical offset. I'm just setting it to the offset. And let's actually refactor this out. Extract this out to its own method. Randomize properties. So this can be offset. And then I'll have, I'll have the gap size also randomized. So gap size is, oh, I want to also bring these in here. And then have the gap size deviate from this value. So let me create gap size variance, and that can be like, I don't know, maybe how much should it vary by? Maybe like 10. Too small. I'll try 25. Quick and dirty like a game jam, or implement best practices? Try to use best practices as much as possible, but if it's going to be like a tiny game like Flappy Bird that I'm never going to open again, it's probably not going to be spending too much time on dwelling on whether it's the right way to do it, just as long as it works. But yeah, as we go along the project and along the challenge and get to the more complicated games, then yeah, maybe at that point might be a good idea to start thinking about better code practices. But yeah, just as we go along, still trying to not write shit code. Gap size and also randomize gaps. Gap size, I want it to be the original gap size plus a random value between the gap size multiplied with the variance and the gap size multiplied with the negative of variance. What is your problem? Double to float. Why do you float now? Or why are you double now? What? Oh, because rand range returns a float double? Yeah, I think. Is it? Yeah. We want a float. So gap size plus. Oh wait, no, this is not good. I just want to add the variance, not multiply it with gap size. I want. Yeah, just gap. So either between 25 and minus 25, we pick a random value and add that to the gap size. So now that should give us varying gap sizes, but I'm worried that varying gap sizes might make the positioning a bit wacky. Is it even doing it? First thing is, through all these print statements, I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. I do not want you. Yeah, just practice. And I mean, I don't think I'm that great at best practices either, but I think I write decent code. Like it's not horrendous, but I don't know if I would have the best code or anywhere near that. It's still printing flap. Can you? Where is flap being printed? Player? What way no one likes you? Okay, yeah. The reason I wanted to do that was so that I can print out the gap and see if it's actually working, because I think it might be working. It's just too small of a difference to be seen. Go in here and print out the new gap size. Print gap size. Yeah, let's try printing it so that we know for sure. Yeah, looks like it's working. There is another hidden print statement somewhere. Control, I think we printed that when we were trying to fix the signal issue in main print. So it is working, but we might want to have the same step nature with the gap, the same step logic as what we did here. snapped logic. I want to go here and put that. Snap it to 20 maybe. Is a magic number fine in this case? Because it's a small statement. It's pretty straightforward if I look at what is. But ideally, I think if I want to write the cleanest code possible, I probably should have a variable for that. But I am lazy, so I shall leave it be. Right. So if I increase the variance a bit more, maybe 40, I should be able to see it. Or wait, if the snapped value is 40, then, or if the snapped value is 20, then 40 variance, max of 80, that's not going to. Let's try 15. $181. Wait, that also means the size is going to be smaller sometimes than what it was before. That's not good for my skill issue. But looks like it's fine. That was the biggest gap out of all of them, and I died there. I got through the tiny gaps. Okay, I think the variance is pretty decent here. And that is definitely doable. That was just my skill issue. I think you can make that if you were a better player. So that's done. You can get rid of the print statement. Yeah, like if I went a bit lower, that's definitely doable. What's next? Is that all? Is that Flappy Bird finished? I guess I also need a score. So if I go in here, that shouldn't be a problem. If I go into the obstacle pair, Control A, area 2D, Control A, collision shape 2D, and then triangle shape, and then just do that. There we go. We have the score area, and can go into initialize. Wait, these can actually go into ready. Does it matter? I had to use initialize so that it happened after the spawning. After this, I wanted randomized properties to happen after. I actually think I can grab these, put it in ready. Why are you doing that? And then get rid of. I can get rid of initialize. Call this. Call this initialize temporarily so that I can rename it to randomized properties, and that should fix it here. What is your problem? It is not public. There. So that should now work the same. Let's just test if it works the same. Obstacles should still spawn correctly. Looks like they are. Okay, and then let's get a reference to the score area and get the or connect to the score area's body entered. On score body entered. And let's actually rename this to on obstacle body entered. And I'll go in here, score area, collision, detect the player. Okay. Score area on body entered. We basically just want a global signal again. So I can turn this into a, I forget what it's called, expression body. Yeah. And then have a public void. First I need a new signal. Score increased, and then maybe just a score variable right here. Public. Do I want it here? Just put it in the UI for now. I know I shouldn't, but it's Flappy Bird. Just score increased event handler and public void for limit score increased. Yes. And then I can go into the obstacle pair. In here, globals dot instance dot score increased emit score. Oh, I have access to the event, but I guess I can't emit it directly. Because that defeats the point of the. Oh, I suppose I was. The issue earlier with the disposing. If I'm using signals, I think I should be using connect to connect the connect function instead of this syntax. I don't know actually, but oh well. You know what? Let's just have the score here. Whatever. Public int score, and it can be a property. And we basically just what do we do? I lost my train of thought. We go to obstacle pair. We emit scoring. Or you know what? Glow. Instead of emitting it here, let's actually just set globals dot score or instance dot score plus plus. What is oh, it was supposed to be get set. It's still not accessible. public. Wait. Oh, I set this. Change that. Now I can do score plus plus, and then in here I'll have a setter for this boy. Is the syntax forgotten? Setter get set. Shouldn't this have a code action to convert it? No? On the property? Convert to full property, yes. And then control period again, use block body access. There we go. So wait, there's no normal bracket. So we set the score to the value and then emit score increased. So technically don't need this, I suppose. So I'll just get rid of it. Emit score increased and signal score increased. And now I can listen to this from the, oh, well, I don't have UI just yet. Let me start the main game over UI, or no, main control full rect scale, no, label, and it's called score. I'll have a box container. Call this score text, duplicated score value, and I like to put LB at the end for labels. LB. These go in the box container. Box container goes to the top center, and it can be moved down slightly. On, down. And then I want the same label settings as the increase. Or this can be something like that, and this can be placeholder value. Something like that. Alright, and finally we have score UI. Drop a script. For UI, let's drop it into, make a UI folder in here, UI. And I'll also move the game over UI folder, probably commit. And then move the game over UI into the UI folder. Core UI. Core UI connects to global dot instance dot score. Or wait, it doesn't have to connect, I think. Or no, it does. Score increased. And I can actually pass in the score directly. Emit scoring. Let's add an int score parameter and let's just pass in the value. The score increased. Want int score and finally the score value label reference. And then no, get this in here and then yep, there we go. That should be it if the score collision detection is working. I was not paying attention. What did I do? My clicks aren't working. Wait, so did I break something? I needed to. I put this on top, so it's eating up my mouse input. Let's set that to ignore. Oh, that changed. This is new. Or I guess it's just the name that changed. But it used to just be pass. I guess they just made it a bit more readable now. Yes, I am from Hyderabad. So ignore. And now I should be able to interact with my other buttons. Yes. Big. It works. Nice. So I am deleting the pipes every time they go past to the left side. But it's fine. We don't need object pooling in our first game of the challenge. Okay, score is working. Let's also set the starting score to 0. Score label on ready. We set the score value label dot text to 0. Or actually, just to make it a bit neater. Never mind, I don't care. It can just be 0. Hard string 0. Good enough. There we go. That works. Awesome. That's some decent progress. How long has it been? It has been 2 hours and 50 minutes. Not bad. So we have I think that's all of the logic, right? Let's just look at the challenge again to see if I missed anything. So we need a floor, done. Add an object to the main character, done. Add obstacles, slide across the screen to the left, done. Appear in pairs, yes, with a vertical gap, done. We are dynamically spawning them, yes, done. I am not going to reuse them, I am lazy. Detect when the character collides with the floor, done. Accumulate 1 point, done. Stretch goals. Add some sounds. Okay. Add a basic game over, which is done. Track the high score between play sessions. Okay. and add some background art. I think art would be fun. I'm down to do art for the whole thing because it's pretty important in calling a project finished. If I want to, if that's my goal for this whole um challenge, is to learn to actually finish whole projects. So I want to ignore the sounds, but I guess I'll do them. So yeah, that's some decent progress for a day. So we need sound effects for hopping, for dying, for scoring. I think those should be good. And then music, I can grab something online. Not bad. Pretty decent start to the challenge. Yeah, it's pretty uncomplicated. Just the pain in the bum to have to do because it's just not. You don't wake up every day and be happy that you have to do sounds. I mean, it's not that bad. I'm just exaggerating it too much. Like, I've rarely done sounds in any of my games. I think I've only done it once. I finished one project actually. Wait, I completely forgot. I've finished, or quote unquote finished, one project. It's not like an official, not like a project I'm selling. It's just another recreation of a childhood favorite. Guess I could show that. And I think it's on 4.3. Yes. So this is the only project I've ever finished, like to completion. At least I have UI, I have sounds, I have a full gameplay loop. It's nothing flashy, it's nothing that incredible, but it's a full project that I've finished. So that's something. And it has sounds, which is the. I don't think I'm sharing sounds on the stream. There. So you should be able to hear the sounds now. But basically, it's this game where you're a little dude. You have to collect these things. You have to collect the green dots without hitting the blue dots. And this used to be my childhood favorite. I used to play this so much. Nintendo, don't copyright strike me. Use the Mario music, the star music with the invincibility. So if you have that bar fill up to the max on top, you get invincibility. So yeah, I just use the Mario star. And you can eat the. Oh, well, there I go. That should have saved me, I think. The invincibility, it didn't. But yeah, it's basically a full game that has a complete game loop. It has UI, it has sounds, and it's the only project I've ever finished to completion. And this is actually my first ever project on Godot. First ever full project on Godot. And then even I put some effort into the UI as well, into like the lock and stuff when you click on the lock. So this, you have to get 50 points or score 50 to unlock the next character. So by default, all of these are locked, you just start with this really bad character and then you keep gaining points to unlock new characters. The transition was actually completely a shader. So I complicated it a lot by making it a shader. It didn't have to be a shader, but I was getting into shaders for the first time, and this was like a way for me to kind of practice using shaders. I'm actually really happy with that transition. But yeah, if I just did like a plain animation with like the animation player, that would have taken like 10 minutes to do. Instead, I spent like 3 days on that transition alone. It was fun though. I learned a lot about shaders, but it's been so long since I've done any shader programming, so I don't know if I even remember any of it. Run us through the code? Sure. I don't remember what's going on here. Let's see. So the death UI, so this game over screen is basically just animated using an animation player, if I remember correctly. There you go. So I just have a show screen thing that just slides the animation or slides the game over screen from the top. When it comes to the code, so what code do you want to look at? What part? Maybe that'll help narrow it down to something that might be useful for you to see. Maybe the main, I guess the obstacles might be interesting to look at. The level, let's start with the level. Sure. What am I looking at? So we have the level is my root node of the entire game, I think, at least in the main game scene. Yeah, so level is my main scene. And it has some events. So I don't think I used a global event bus for this. These are just events on the main scene, on the root scene. And I think I'm spawning the player in here. Yeah, so I'm spawning the player dynamically. And basically I grab these stats. So I have the stats set up as resources. So if I look in my file system, resources, nope, not in resources. Character sprites, no, character stat resources, there we go. So I have resources set up for each of the characters that you can play. These ones here. So each of these characters, I have different stats. So speed, time, and time invincible, and size. Each of them have different stats represented by these dots. And these are basically loaded in each of those scenes. So I think Control Alt O. Let's just search for UI, see what shows up. Character selection screen. So the resources themselves, they have character stat, I think. Stat.css resource, I think. Nope, it's not. Control P stat. What is it called? It's the player stat. Wow. Player stats resource. It has a name, the texture, speed, and the time invincible. Basically, a property, a variable for each of those properties, and also the score that you need to get to unlock it. and some more information about actually unlocking it, so whether it's unlocked or not. If you just unlocked it, I use this just unlocked property so that if I got past a target score, and then I return to the menu for the first time, it plays like a little unlocking animation. Let's actually have a look. I think the data is stored, the save data is stored in the user file. So yeah, save.dtas. Let's delete that. So now if I run the game, it'll actually lock up all the characters. So I'll only have the first character now. Do you always program with C#? Yeah, I prefer C#. I have a lot more fun working with C#, and I feel like it gives me a lot more control. But yeah, so now that I deleted the save file, I won't have any of the other characters. So if I play this guy and get to 5, I have a little UI thing that shows that I've unlocked a new character. Let's just get to 10 so we unlock another one. One more. Boom. And then I have this this section that dynamically spawns in. Or I don't think it spawns dynamically. I think it's just hidden, and then I unhide it when I unlock characters. And when I go back, I should now have a little animation that plays when the character is unlocked. So now I can play these characters. So yeah, that's what the in the resource, that's what the I don't have a quit button, which is very annoying. If I go back to the player stats resource, that's what this just unlocked properties for. So whenever I come back to the character select screen, I basically check against just unlocked. If it's just unlocked, if that character was just unlocked, then I play the animation. This is the ball count is basically the number of circles to show in the stats menu. If I play again and look at these, so these basically I have a little bit of math to figure out how many balls I want to show. And what are you doing? And I just have a helper function to get that, and I think I use this. I pressed the wrong button. I think I use this in the character stats UI. Yeah, so I have another script called character stats UI, where it's basically just that stat screen. Actually go to the character select screen. So this is what the character stats screen looks like. Yeah, I mean the language doesn't really matter in terms of like your programming ability. I mean, sure, there's like some level of understanding you need within the language when you're looking at specific language features, but overall, yeah, it's just the same stuff. You have variables, you have functions, you have classes, and if you have a good grasp of that, then following another language is just basically looking out for where the syntax is different. So yeah, this is what the character stats UI looks. So it's just bare bones. It doesn't have any of the dots pre-placed. It doesn't even have any character associated with it. And the character selection UI as well. If I hide this one, the character select UI is also dynamically generated. So there's no buttons here in the scene itself. I should just have a container, yeah, character button grid. And I think this main script just on ready, it looks at all the player stat resources, I think I just have a unlock manager singleton which has a list or an array of all the character stats possible, and it just fetches that and creates the buttons. It just spawns in the button scene for each of those, and sets the character stat UI, or the button takes the character stat resource instance, and the button has code to automatically set all the details of that character. Yeah, like UI, I used to be really annoyed with having to make UI, but then I think just when I started to use Godot, the UI system kind of started to click, and I actually started to enjoy making UI, which is rare, and I was surprised myself. But yeah, now whenever I look at UI or UX, I'm actually pretty interested in that. But yeah, so I have some of a bunch of UI, basically managing more of the UI. Going back to the level, I have signals to detect whenever an enemy. So whenever an enemy is spawned, where do I do that? I am doing that in the. Where am I doing that? Where is the enemy spawned? In Flappy Bird, yeah, I think I'll do UI animation as well. I want it to be as finished of a game as possible. Like that's my main goal with this challenge, which is just finish projects, no matter how small they are. Which is like the most important skill, I think, to tackle after you're comfortable with writing code. Because I can build mechanics, I can like troubleshoot, and I can figure out how to code something, but then if it's simple enough, maybe not like the more complicated stuff. But yeah, I can never bring it all together and actually finish a project. I've only ever created prototypes. So I've gotten past tutorial hell, and now I'm in prototype hell. So the goal with this challenge is to get out of that stage and like actually finish games. And I think we made some good progress today. Like we've basically gotten the entire logic done in 3 or 4 hours. 3 hours, I think it was. Yeah. So not bad. And hopefully in like another 3 hours, I can get the polish and like sounds and visuals and all that done as well. Yeah, like it could like grow in size, and like maybe if you've used the rich text label before, let me just look up the docs online because I'm too lazy to do it myself right now. If you look at rich pb code and if we look down here, you can do all these cool effects, shake effects, rainbow effects, pretty cool stuff you can do. Like this is a really simple way to get a lot of personality into your UI and text. So yeah, might use this. Just saw the stream. It's late. Thought I'd pop in and say hi. Hello. Thanks for popping in. Right. So going back, where was I? Level. Yeah, that's. I don't know if there's anything else that interests you based on the code review. So I don't remember where I'm spawning these entities, but they're being spawned, all right. And I'm checking whether or whenever the enemy is touched, which is basically the player dies, or if the pickup is touched, I have code for each of those. And yeah, that's the bare, I guess the main frame of the game. Of course, there's more animations and like triggering the animations and actually getting the save system and all that. But yeah, that should be a decent overview, I hope. And also one thing I want to point out is this thing here. If I go into the game, let me actually delete the I lost it. Open user data. If I delete this again, so I go in here. So this thing here, I think, is the one. So you'll notice that this thing actually shows up in a bunch of different places, or at least 2 places. I don't know if I used it in more than 2 places. I think like 3 or 4 places, but that's one. What? I broke something. What? Oh, I think I just unhit it. Hold on. Oops. That's funny. Wait, no, it's not showing here. Why is that? Oh, wait, hold on. Level. Yes. Because the stupid animation player does not reset on its own. Where is the death screen UI animation player? There. So now, hopefully. Yeah, right there we can see 2 more actually. Let me go back. Oh, I alt F4 2 times on accident. Great. And that was Godot 4.4. So 4.3. And that's so this element here is basically just a scene called player info box, and I have it placed all over the place. So I think it just takes in the player stats resource as the input. Let's actually have a look. I guess not. It could take the player stat resource, but I guess I didn't do that. It just takes the image and the label and has a function. Oh wait, no, it does take the player stats. Yeah, so it takes the player stats. These are just the node references. My bad. So it takes the player stats and fetches the texture and the name from the resource and assigns them to itself. And I can use this exact scene in multiple different places. So I have it placed here. I have it placed in the character select UI in this window. And I also have it in the game over screen. So if I think I reset my save so I can show that again. So this is one, and then this is one on top. And then whenever I unlock a new character, I use that same scene again to show which character was unlocked. There. So basically just like a notification that shows that. And then finally I have it in the new characters unlocked window as well. It's I think it's just placed in scene. Or wait, no. In this case, it's not placed in scene because if I unlock multiple characters at once, I need multiple info boxes spawned. So in this case, they're dynamically spawned, but all the other cases, like all of these, since I know that there's only, if I click on a character, I only want to show the details of one character. So in this case, it is just spawned in the scene itself, in the character select. So you can see it here. It's just pre-spawned there, and also you can only unlock one character at once. So these are also pre-placed. You can see them here as well, but I think these are just placeholder and they're deleted. These are deleted when the game starts, and I think more are created when necessary. But yeah, I guess that's like one nice example of how scenes could be utilized in multiple different places, especially for UI. I think if you have the same type of information or the same information you want to show in multiple places, if you just create a scene for it, it's a nice way to just throw that everywhere, and also makes your UI more consistent, and like your UI language being consistent is pretty nice, I think, for user experience. But also, I think this one is my favorite thing about this game. So this was like my first ever shader that I was able to like fully do on my own. It has like this wavy, it's just like a sine wave thing. And like being able to do this was like, I'm like, I was very proud of like making a shader, because shaders were always a black box. I mean, still are. I don't think I know enough about shaders, but this was a start. Yeah, and it has like multiple layers, which was the thing I was most proud of. So like you can feel the 3D illusion. Maybe if I had a gradient on this back, the darker liquid thing, that would look cool. But yeah, for another lifetime. It's so tiny, I don't think anyone would notice actually. Maybe if I made the back thing go a bit further. Yeah, for sure. Shaders are their own subject of voodoo black magic. Oh yeah, and this grid thing was also a shader, which I don't think I wrote this shader myself. I think ChatGPT wrote this shader for the most part, because I couldn't figure out how to like get the grid to work. But yeah, I won't take credit for this shader, but this one I was able to do on my own, which was very cool to do. But yeah, that's this project, and hopefully we have more projects that I can finish with this challenge. But I think that's a good place to stop for today. Thank you for everyone that joined my first ever live stream. This was very weird to say the least, just talking to the mic, and I am not very good at talking. So cool, fun first experience. Thank you again to everyone that showed up, and hopefully I can catch you again next time. Thank you, I appreciate it. So yeah, I will see you next time. Let's see if I know how to stop the stream. By the way, on YouTube it doesn't even say that I'm streaming. It doesn't show me the chat here. It doesn't detect OBS. I don't know what's going on. So hopefully when I press stop streaming, I'm actually stopping. I don't know if it will, but well, let's try it out. See ya. Goodbye.